Hello friends, welcome back to another Microsoft Flight Simulator video. The long wait is finally ended and we have the PMDG 737-800 in Microsoft Flight Simulator. What a beautiful add-on and the most popular one of the 737 series. I am pretty sure a lot of people were waiting for this. And we will be taking a look at the aircraft and going through the cold and dark startup procedure in this video. It is not quite different than the 737-700. There are some overhead panel differences between the two aircraft, but all in all, it's going to be very close to the 737-700. We are currently parked at Sabiha Gökçen International Airport in Istanbul, and we are in this beautiful Turkish Airlines livery, my home country. So I wanted to do this video in that, and we have the stairs attached to the aircraft. These stairs are from GSX. Even though it's not working perfectly, it serves for the purpose, and some things still do work, and I'm enjoying the add-on so far. Alright, let's jump into the cockpit and let's take a look at the startup procedure of this aircraft. Before we start, I have a different cold and dark setup, like some of the switches in the PMDG's cold and dark setup might look different on your end. For example, the standby power is unguarded and turned off. Stab trim switches are unguarded and off. By the way, if you forget to turn these on, yours will be probably on by default. You won't be able to engage the autopilot, so keep that in mind if your autopilot is not engaging and if you are using a similar setup like mine. The differences between two aircraft is the PAX or air conditioning panel. We have two recirculation fans instead of one. We have a different temperature control panel here, and the pressurization panel is sort of looking the same, but you have a separate option to change this to a new panel and it looks a little bit different. We also have the voice recorder panel up top, where you can leave it at auto or turn it to on to start recording the conversation in the cockpit while you are on the ground. When you leave it at auto, it will start recording when you are airborne. The rest of the panels are pretty much the same, except on the electrical panel we don't have the galley power switch. Instead we have cabin utilities and passenger seat IFE switches instead of the galley power, but those are the differences that I did spot in this aircraft. Anyway, power up procedure. First thing, we need to do an electrical startup. To do that, we need to turn the battery switch guard or close the battery switch guard, and battery will turn on. Standby power is also turned on, and we arm the emergency exit lights at this point. Now we need to check a couple things before we keep going. First thing, electrical hydraulic pump switches are off. Alternate spoiler switches are guarded. Wipers are off. 3 greens for the landing light and gear is down, and we are seeing 3 greens here at the overhead and as well as below the MCP panel. From here on, you can do whatever you like to do, like your choice of power source. You can go to the ground services and request GPU, or you can start your APU. In this instance, we will request the ground power unit. That is now being connected. We'll reset the master caution here. And GPU is now available. We'll put it on the bus and the AC systems will come to life. From here on, we will do left to right, top to bottom panel scan and change the switch positions or turn the systems on as we go from top to bottom, left to right. First thing is the Irs switches. I'm not following a checklist. This is how I'm used to do it. So we'll turn the Irs switches to align and then nav. They will turn momentarily to nav. We have approximately 7 minutes to align the irises. And while we are here, we can do the flight recorder test, airspeed warning tests, and the stall test needs to be done a little bit later because it requires, I think, at least 1 minute on AC power before you can perform this test. So we can wait or we can come back to this because it's not gonna work. You can put the voice recorder to on. This is, I think, a company procedure, or some European countries require the airlines to record the conversations in the cockpit while on the ground setting up the aircraft. Flaps test, that passes. Let's see if this works. Not still quite there yet. We'll move to the lower overhead. We scan this panel. Fuel pumps will remain off until we are ready to start the APU. Alternate flaps and spoilers are off. Yaw damper can come on at this point, or you can do it prior to taxiing. I usually forget it, that's why I'm doing it right now. We'll monitor the ground power on the electrical panel. Generators will remain off for the time being. We can get some panel brightness. Equipment cooling needs to stay in the norm position. We can turn the chimes and passenger seat belts on if we are done with refueling the aircraft. And we'll test the attend button. Over here we'll turn on the window heats. Anti-ice will remain off. Electrical hydraulic pumps can come on at this point. Pressurization panel and cockpit voice recorder, we don't do anything here for the time being. Down below, nothing here. And then over here we'll set the desired temperature for our cabin. Even though the AC is not running at the moment, we just set the switches for the desired temperatures. The AC panel or bleed panel stays as is. We'll set our cruising altitude for today. I'm gonna set us for 35,000 feet. We are not going to enter a flight plan. I'm pretty sure you guys know how to work the FMC. We'll turn the position and strobe lights to steady, and that is the overhead done. From here we'll go to the MCP Master Caution. Will reset that. This is where you listen to ADIS and set your barometric pressure. We also test the lights to make sure they are working. All looks good. And then we'll turn the flight directors on. The rest will stay until we program the FMC. We'll go to the pedestal now, get the lights to our liking. We'll listen to VHF1, PA, and speaker on both pilot and co-pilot side. Radios as required. We'll do the fire tests. Let's get to the pedestal. Get a better view. First thing we do is the fault in-op detection. We have the lights and we have the master caution. The next one is the fire test itself. And this needs to be cancelled. You have to be quick to cancel it. We can try this again. Yep, horn cancels. Overhead detection, again. Systems IMB, this needs to stay in the middle position. We'll do the squid or bottle test for left and right engine, and we'll do the cargo fire test while we are here. All checks out, we'll turn the step trim switches to on position and guard them, and we can set our parking brake while we are here. So that's the preliminary startup procedure. From here, you go down and set up your FMC and enter your flight plan, do your calculations, whatever. And after that is done, you set your MCP to the V2 based on your calculations. Let's say our V2 is 147, we'll set it to that. Heading bug will be set to the runway heading. The course, if you have a VOR that you are tracking as a secondary navigational aid, you set that, and then the rest is to keep going for engine start, where you start the APU, and then turn the bleeds on and get ready for pushback. So this is just a high level cold and dark startup procedure. I have a more detailed one for the 737-700, and that is pretty much in alignment or in line with the 737-800. So you can check that out if you want to. But if you are interested in seeing a full cold and dark startup with MCD, FMC programming, and then getting ready to taxi, let me know in the comments and I can record a longer version of this and go through all those procedures and even look at the checklist for this aircraft as well. Just wanted to record a quick video about the 737-800 and share my thoughts and opinions about this aircraft. I think overall, great aircraft, much anticipated, and this will be one of my favorite or most common airframes that I will probably use for both videos and when I'm flying offline enjoying the flight simulator. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, consider giving a like, and if you want to see a longer version, as I said, leave me a comment down below, and I will be seeing you in the next video.